Gente! A única mulher que não matou ninguém. Ah, ela matou também, ó. Putz, grilo. No vídeo passado disse que todo mundo tinha matado alguém, né? Ela também matou. Ela matou, voltou. Vocês vão lembrar? Nos capítulos passados. Putz, grilo, mano.
John Sheppard died 30 years ago. Hope his mother has all the answers to this puzzle. Only a few hours left before Sean Mars dies. Hello, I'm looking for Anne Sheppard's room.
Please sign the visitor's book. Are you a member of the family?
Yeah, you could say that.
Oh, she'll be pleased to have a visitor. No one ever comes to see her. With the Alzheimer's, she has trouble remembering things, but it'll still please her, you know. It's room 19 at the end of the corridor.
Thank you.
Vamos lá. Quarto 19 no fim do corredor. Passei, será? Passei. Tá aqui, 19.
Hello, Mrs. Sheppard.
Is it time for my pills already?
No, Mrs. Sheppard,
They're never on time with my pills. I don't know what they do here. In the other hospital, they were always on time. But here...
I came to talk about your son, Mrs. Sheppard.
My son? I have no son.
Your other son, Mrs. Sheppard, John's twin brother. What was his name?
What other son? I have no other son. I never had any children.
You had a son named John, and John had a twin brother.
Do you have my pills? It's time for my pills.
Mrs. Sheppard, your son may be linked to a series of murders. Perhaps you have some information that could help the investigation.
Are you a new nurse? Where are my pills?
Cadê os comprimidos dela, por sinal? Vou ver se eu lembro de
Do you
alguma
remember
coisa.
John?
My Johnny. He is a good little boy, you know.
This woman might be the origami killer's mother. Must be some way to get her to remember. Are these your children, Mrs. Sheppard? John and his brother? Is that them? You don't seem to get many flowers, Mrs. Sheppard.
No, but I love them. My son knows that I love flowers. I know he'll bring me some.
Are these your children,
Pois,
Mrs.
eu já
Sheppard?
vi, né?
John and his brother? Is that them?
They're good little boys. Their father never looked after them, always drinking. They didn't have an easy life, you know.
Uns origami aqui, ó.
Did you make these origami figures?
My little paper animals. They played with them for hours. I showed my boys how to make them, you know.
Yes, your boys, Mrs. Sheppard. John and... what was your other son's name again?
My other son? I only had one son, my little Johnny.
E agora, qual origami fazer? Fazer esse aqui.
I love origami, but that's not my favorite one.
Fechei, ó.
I love origami, but that's not my favorite one. Oh, you know how to do these little dogs too. My children loved origami. I taught them how to do it. John loved the little dogs. He always wanted to call them Max. Max, Max, Max? All dogs with the same name. I was wasting my time telling him they couldn't all have the same name. But he always wanted his paper dogs Max. It's funny, isn't it?
It'd take days, if not longer, to find the name of the family that adopted her son. Sean Mars would be dead by then. All right, no point in wasting my time. I won't learn anything more by staying here. Her memory is coming back. Don't stop now. Just remember. All right, no point in wasting my time. I won't learn anything more by staying here.
A gente agora não descobriu nada. Vamos trazer as flores. Tem flores ali, ó.
Does Mrs. Sheppard ever talk about her past?
It's not all very clear to her now. Sometimes she'll remember the oddest things, though. I suppose if she sees something that reminds her of her past.
Did she ever mention her sons?
Sons? Well, she often mentions John. I think he drowned.
Does she ever talk about her other son?
I didn't know she had another one. I've never heard her mention it.
I'm looking for her other son. He was adopted. I mean, he's probably changed his name. Is there any official documentation on Mrs. Sheppard?
No, there's nothing really. Nothing about her family. I guess if her son was adopted, then she's the only one who could tell you about that. Sometimes, if you show her things, it seems to trigger a memory from her past. You might get it to remember.
Thanks for the advice.
Vamos lá mostrar a flor pra ela, que ela tá pedindo.
What a lovely orchid. My sons loved orchids. We used to grow them in the back. When John died, I laid orchids on his grave. I cried when they told me. I'd already lost one of my children, and now they were taking away another one, you understand.
The foster family, Mrs. Sheppard. What was the name of the foster family that adopted John's brother?
They were really very nice people. I met them, you know. In the beginning, I used to go and see my little boy. And then I got sick and I couldn't go any longer. Perhaps he thought I'd forgotten him. He must have thought I didn't love him anymore.
His name, Mrs. Sheppard. What was his name?
But I loved him. If you only knew how much I missed him.
Please, Anne. His name. What was his name?
Come closer.
Ah, não vale, eu tenho que ouvir o nome. Qual é o nome? Qual é o nome, brother? Brother, sister. Ela tem o nome do assassino do origami que eu sugeri que fosse o irmão do John. Gente, obrigado por assistir. Estamos no final do jogo. Você já sabe qual é o assassino? Se você já sabe, não poste. Mas se você está jogando e não sabe, dê sua opinião. Obrigado por assistir. E até o próximo vídeo. Deixa um like.